Hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to be doing a video of Make It, Break It, Win a Game on the Dungeons & Dragons Battle for Baldur's Gate Draft Booster. We're going to hope that we get a decent commander out of this set. There's always been a pretty good listing for them. You can't go wrong with it. Now, the only thing on these guys will be they do come with a lot of mana rocks, and that is going to be an issue for the long run of things, but they do it's more of a dragon theme kind of side of the draft booster, but hopefully we can at least come up with something different. We built a Miriam deck before, and it's a dragon tribal deck. I don't want to try to make another one of them, but depending how our pulls go, we may have to, but hopefully we don't. Miriam's a really strong commander in this set, and you can always use a lot of the creatures that you do get out of it. I feel like that was the whole thing on this one, is they just built it around of that. I feel like they were kind of not very conducive about wanting to go with any other commander that they have in play without you using it in any other deck. But for our first pull, we're going to go ahead and look this over. So here we go. Artifact creature. We got an Evolving Wilds. Most broken land there could be. Man, not getting much. You got a legendary background, the faceless one, and you can use this as a commander as well. So if faceless one is your commander, choose a color before the game begins. Faceless one is the chosen color. Doesn't make sense. Explore the Underdark. Ambitious Coast, Thrakis the Butcher, Lulu Loyal Holyphant, Far Traveler for another background, Gale's Rediction, or Redirection, my bad. Exile target spell, then roll a d20 and add that spell's mana value. It's not bad. You may cast an exiled spell for as long as it remains exiled. And then you may cast exiled card without paying the mana cost. It's not bad for a rare. For a foil, Treasure Keeper, and we got a token, Treasure Token. So far, out of everything here, I think the interesting commander that we've pulled was so far Thrakis. Whenever Thrakis the Butcher attacks, double the power for each dragon you control. So, like I said, it's more of a dragon-themed deck. It'll be interesting how we can go around with this. Put that over there. I'll set my commanders this way over here. Do apologize, trying to organize this for you all, make it a little easier. I did want to ask everybody if you all had any kind of ideas that would be a good. I did want to ask you guys. I wanted to see kind of an idea what you all would like to see in the future for content, such as what kind of boxes we should open next time around, what you all would like to see. There's our first mana rock, and things like that. Kind of want to get a good gauge as to what we would like to see out here. Trailblaze. So we got an Arcane Signet, second mana rock. Gitsiri Monk. When it enters the battlefield, tap all creatures you don't control. It's not a bad little creature. Legendary creature, Amber Gristle O'Maul. When it attacks, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw a card for each player being attacked. It's okay. Mahadi, Emporium Master. Actually a decent card. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each creature that died this turn. Legendary background. We got Robe of the Archmages, or Maggies, however you want to pronounce it. And then Chef Master for our foil background, and we got the Initiative. Another thing is they did add the dungeon cards to this set, so you go through it, and you can go through it multiple times, which is interesting how the set can go about it, because it wants you to do it. There's cards that rely on you going through it the first time so you can get more abilities out of it, such as draw multiple cards instead of drawing one. Creatures do this instead of this, as long as you've done that. So it's interesting what we can get pulled out of it going through this. Snake Dragon, run away together. Great way to get rid of someone's, well, two other people's creatures, especially if they're been in your way the whole time. Pack Attack, Lurking Green Dragon, Mystery Key, Emerald Dragon, Underseller Sweep. Here's another background. So this one's, again, like I said, it's more of a dungeon theme as well with the dragon. So commander creature you own have room abilities of dungeons you own trigger an additional time. Here is our commander option. Bahal, Lord of Murder. As long as your life total is less than or equal to half of your starting life total, this creature has indestructible. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, put a 1/1 counter on target creature and goad it. We got an Ancient Silver Dragon for our mythic. For foil, we got a Tabaxi Tuccaneers, I think that's how you pronounce it. A copy token. So far pretty good pulls, I guess, at this point of things. Not many commanders with decent abilities. Baja's good, not in the set alone. It's better to add it into a different deck and just modify it with it, or make a commander deck around it. Alright. OG, the Exquisite Blade. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and scry 2. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, exile up to 1 target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. I wonder how this works. So if I exile and it comes back, I can always do this ability over and over. So if that's an idea, I can do that for our commander. We got Scion the Halaster, Fire Bolg, Bug, is that rare? And for foil, we got a Wayfarer's Bubble and another initiative. Ancient Silver Dragon's actually really good as well, having the ability where as long as it enters the battlefield, you have no hand size at all for the rest of the game. It doesn't matter whether it's still there or not. So we got another Mana Rock, Lightning Bolt, Javelin of Lightning, which is okay. When it enters the battlefield, attach it to a target creature you control. As long as it's your turn, equipped creature gets +2 and +0 and has first strike. A very expensive equip cost, 4 cost for it. Another Fungus Man. Lapis Orb of Dragonkind. All of these orbs for the dragons are actually really helpful because they help with casting and they also give them abilities. So I believe there's a green orb that gives them hexproof. Forget what the blue one does. Whenever you cast a dragon with this, you scry 2. And then the red orb does the haste. I don't remember what the other orbs do. Alright. Here is another one. At the beginning of your upkeep, if 3 or 4 more creatures cards in your graveyard, if there are 3 or 4 more creature cards in your graveyard, return a creature card at random from your graveyard to your hand. It'd be better if it allowed you to summon it, but it is a common, so I don't see why it would give you that. Ascend from Avernus as a rare. Return all creatures and planeswalker cards with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Exile this card. And for foil, we got a Thirst for ourselves. Exile target creature, put X/1/1 counters on a commander creature you control, where X is the power of the creature. Exile this way. And we got a double token. It seems okay for 4 mana cost to exile something to beef up a commander. Maybe worth it, maybe not. Going through this real quick. There's another mana rock. I guess when I speak bad of these boxes, I don't have to worry about mana rocks because I have not seen much. Campfire. If you have a very expensive commander, it's very helpful. 1 cost and you pay 2 and exile this card and put all commanders you own from the command zone and from your graveyard into your hand, and then shuffle your graveyard so you can pay it for a cheap cost. There's another card, and for 3 costs, not bad. There's another card, I forget the name of it, but there's another card as well that's a creature, and what the creature does whenever you attack it, deal damage to an opponent. You don't have to deal much because it has trample. Just dealing 1 allows you to just cast out your commander for free from the command zone. Alright, Val, Candlekeep Researcher. Tap, add an amount of colorless mana equal to Reacher's toughness. This mana can't be spent to cast spells from your hand. It sucks. It's probably the worst commander you can get. Cultist of Absolute. Commander creatures you own get a +3/+3 half-flying Death Touch ward. Pay 3 life, and at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. And for rare, Wizards of Thay has myriad instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. For a foil, Hizuru, we got a night token. I've opened a couple of these boxes. I've never gotten a night token, so they can't be that rare. The game's been around long enough to have plenty of night tokens. Alright, Dragon Board. This one's pretty interesting. Contact other plane. Roll a d20. It's a 4 cost, but if you could land yourself the 10 to 19 to 20, scry 2, draw 2, scry 3, draw 3. It's really nice. Drawing 2, you kind of whiffed it. Decanter of Endless Water. You have no maximum hand size. Tap for any mana. Command Tower. You know, now to think about it, the one rule I came up with for myself is I can add 10 cards to this deck, but they cannot be cards that are over $3 and cannot be overpowered cards that just destroy this deck for no reason. And the 10 cards I've allowed were mana rocks and cards like the Command Tower into it. So I guess in this one I won't need to necessarily add anything, maybe just scry lands and that's it, and call it done. Maybe a Commander Sphere, I don't think this has it, and a Soul Ring. Burnish Heart, it's alright. 6 cost just to get 2 basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield tap. It's not the best, but it's okay. Commander Lyra Partari. Whenever you attack, spells you cast from exiled this turn cost X less to cast, where X is the number of players being attacked. Wow. It's a lot of text for a lot of nothing. Lausanne, Dragon's Legacy. Whenever you cast an adventure spell or dragon spell, this creature deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to any target that isn't a commander. Actually, that might be a good fit because it doesn't require me creatures. It's just anything that isn't a commander. I might use this as a commander, to be honest, for us. Just make a spell slinger deck out of this. There's plenty of dragons. Only thing is that it is a red-blue, so the only thing I will have against it is if we don't get enough red or blue cards, and so far we've gotten a decent amount on the blue side of things. I was hoping to use a background because that's the whole point of this draft box, but some of these backgrounds are just kind of bad. Ilturo Survivors, I think that's how you pronounced it. How you would pronounce it. Trample Myriad. As long as this creature is attacking, it gets +X+0, where X is the number of lands defending player controls. That's actually pretty good. And if you can get Blade of Cells, which you can pull from this box, added to this, it just doubles up its Myriad again. so you can send double at everybody. So I think we will go that route. Oh, sweet. We got Gale Waterdeep Prodigy. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell from your hand, you may cast up to one target card of the other type from your graveyard. If a spell cast from your graveyard this way would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. It's okay. It's good foil too. So I think we'll do a spell slinger deck for this one. So I think Lozan Dragon Legacy is going to be our commander for this series, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and those of you that have cats and dogs as pets. We have done it. We found our commander. This is the one I was talking about. This one gives it haste, taps for a red mana. Citadel Gate. Oh no. There we go. Think I botched this, boys. There we go. Fixed it. Whew. That was a close one. Alright. Let's go over this a little bit more. Look it over. Nothing really good. There's Wilson. I'm trying to make a bear tribal deck. It's kind of hard to do that. There's not enough bears in any of this, actually, now that I think about it. Not enough bears in any of Magic. There's a lot of shapeshifters and changelings, but it don't help. Alright. Live End Cultist of Tiamat. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, target creature gets a +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the spell's mana cost. It would be a good backup for this guy. Background, Street Urchin. It's not good to even read it. Monster Manuel. Actually a pretty interesting card. Mill 5 cards, then return a creature card milled this way to your hand. So you draw a card pretty much. And then you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. So you treat it as an artifact or you treat it as a sorcery. It's a venture spell. That's the nice thing about them. Foil comes out to be a summon undead. Skeleton for a token. Oh man, we have not pulled any more mythics. To be honest, just pulling the ancient silver dragon's more than enough for us, really. If we're gonna do a blue-red deck. Here's the green orb I was talking about. Let's see, yeah, hexproof, and it gets an additional +1/+1 counter on it too. Draconic Lord. This spell costs 2 less to cast if you control a dragon. It's draw 3 cards, but it will end up costing 4 mana. So 4 for 3 may be good, maybe not. In this side of things, it'll be something to kind of look into. Oceanus Dragon enters the battlefield. Tap target creature and opponent controls goaded. So help out. It's off for a bard. I think this one does the same thing. Let's see. Enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent controls can't block this turn, and then goaded. Similar. There's another faceless one. Not really good. Mindstone. This one's actually interesting, but won't be able to use it. So when this creature dies, you may search your library for a dragon card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Actually really good. Won't be able to use it. Alora Merry Thief. When it attacks, whenever you attack, up to one target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. Return that creature to its owner's hand at the beginning of its next end step. It's not that good. You lose a creature, makes no sense. Inspiring Leader. Commander creature you own creates tokens creature tokens you control get +2/+2. An ancient gold dragon in the, I forget what kind of art this is, and this one is a showcase art. So ancient gold dragon. If you don't know what it does, roll a d20 after you deal damage to a player. Create a number of 1/1 blue fairy dragons creature tokens with flying equal to the result. It's actually pretty decent if you're doing a token themed deck. The only issue with these ancient dragons is they don't have haste. They don't have hexproof. They don't have first strike, double strike. They don't have anything. So you have to beef them up. But they do have really good abilities if you can get it to that point. Thieves Tool for a foil. Okay. String and board, carefree. Swine, what is it, master? Now this one is an interesting one. So when it enters the battlefield, put 3/1/1 counters on up to one target non-creature artifact. That artifact becomes a 0/0 homunculus artifact creature with flying. So you could turn your Soul Ring, a command tower, well, not a command tower, but anything that taps for mana into a creature, just swing out with it. Alright, and Shiny Impetus. It's alright. Cliffgate, Manorgate, Fungus Man. This one sucks, to be honest. Dire Mimic. You've been caught stealing. It's okay. So you can threaten the merchant. Each creature blocks this turn if able. Bribe the guards. You create a treasure token for each opponent who was dealt damage this turn. You do it on your second main phase. It's okay. It's not the best because you can only create 3 treasure tokens. Unless you got a card that's like, oh, make more of these, which would be like a doubling season. Blood Boiled Sorcerer. It enters the battlefield. You take the initiative and then pay 1/2 to sacrifice an artifact or a creature. Go target creature. It's alright. For a 4 cost, it's not the best. Cast down, destroy target non-legendary creature. Great card. It's pretty much like murder, but not like murder because you have to pick non-legendary. The busybody, it's alright. It's not the best. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of tokens you created this turn. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest into the bottom of your library in a random order. It's alright. We got 9-Finger Keenan. Hey, speaking of blade selves, look at that. We got blade selves out of it. Equipped creature has myriad. Let's go. Stone Speaker Crystal. Boar. 9-Finger Keenan. Keenan is alright. It's not, I wouldn't say it's something that you need to worry about it too much. So whenever it deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 9 cards of your library. You may put a gate card among them onto the battlefield. Right? Yeah, into the battlefield. Then if you control 9 or more gates, put the rest into your hand. Yeah, into your hand. Otherwise the rest, yeah, it's okay. It's not really the best. Now that I'm looking at it, it's just like, nah. It's good if you have mazes in, I guess. Oh no, messed up there again. There we go, fixed it. Breath weapon deals 2 damage to each non-dragon creature. So again, if you do a dragon tribal, great card to have. Heap Gate, Sky Diamond, Sea Gate. Blur, exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's hand. Treat it like a phase out. Colossal Badger, Clockwork Poison, Iron Mastiff. When it attacks, you get 1 to 9 and deals damage to you. It's really crap. Because why have that? Why have that as an option to get hurt? Earnest Gloom Stalker. Whenever it attacks, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It'll be good if you were doing like a white-green deck, like with the other card. Oh, you do all this, now you put them in the graveyard. Well, pick out your land. Be good for a landfall deck too. Add it into it if you haven't decided that. Anyone that's doing Omnath, be a great card. 3 cost, and like you mill your cards out and put your lands back in. Alright, legendary creature, Abel, Adrian, Gorin's Ward. Enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-land permanents you control until this creature leaves the battlefield. Create a 1/1 white soldier creature token for each permanent exiled this way. Again, it's like a phase out, but it's bad. Elder Brain for a rare. Foil is Warehouse Thief. We get another initiative. Whew. This pack is kind of spicy. Kind of spicy. We talked about blade cells, and there it is. So it's going to help us out. So let's go through this pretty quickly. Another gate. Sea Hag, overwhelming encounter, two-handed axe. Whenever equipped creature attacks, double its power until end of turn. It's a 5 cost, really. Nemesis Phoenix. Pay 3, return it from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking and activate only during the declare attacker's step and only if you're attacking 2 or more opponents. I don't know what to tell you. It's just so specific. Like, you have to do all this to do this. Makes no sense. Sword Coast Sailor. Whenever a creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, this creature can't be blocked. No. Jahari, Friend of the Forest. This is a good card. People are buying them up. It's really good for token decks. Tokens you control have the ability to tap for a forest. It's actually really good. People should really look into buying that. Ultra Bahal for a rare. Parasitic Impetus for our foil. My bad. Had to scratch my nose. Okay, let's see what else do we get. We're trying to speed through this now at this point. We kind of picked out our commander. Hoarding Ogre would be good to add into the deck. Charcoal Diamond. Another gate. Wilson is back again, baby. Got True Soul Zealot. Whenever you attack, you may sacrifice another creature or an artifact. If you do, create a 4/1 black skeleton creature token with menace that's tapped and attacking. Actually good if you're doing token decks. Background. So you could do a green-red, green-white. I mean red-white. Horn of a Hall. It's actually good. I was using it in my other deck yesterday with my Jan Jansen deck that I made. You know what? I didn't even pull a Jan Jansen. Full Campfire Initiative. Have not pulled a Jan Jansen in a while. I wonder why. It's alright. It's a good card if you build a deck around it really well. You can go infinite on it. You just need to get a lot of equipment that lets you untap a creature. And if you can, I put an unwinding clock in mine, so every time it's my next turn or it's someone else's turn, it untaps my artifacts for me, so I can untap an artifact and have the artifact untap another artifact and just keep doing the cycle for it. And eventually, if you get lucky enough and you pull a card that lets you have multiple turns, then you can win pretty easily. I'm not even going to try to pronounce its first name, but it's Nightmare Speaker. Sacrifice another creature or an artifact for each opponent. You mill a card, then return that card from your graveyard to your hand unless that player pays 3 life. Most people will not pay the 3 life unless they are almost dying. Feywild Visitor. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature token. Do it multiple times. You have a token deck, you're going to do it. Hey, Land Cycle Luxury Suites. About time we got something decent. Guildsworn Prowler. Death Touch. When it dies. If it wasn't block, draw card. Okay. Soldier. Some of these cards are really lackluster. The more you look into it, I can see why the set didn't do so hot. It's just simply not a lot of. It's really not a lot of stuff out of this that you can really rely on if you're gonna do a draft night. It's kind of lackluster. Dragonborn Looter. Pay 1, draw a card, and discard a card. It's alright. It's not really the best. Now there's a card in here. It's called, I forget the name of it. It's like a juvenile something dragon, and once it comes into the field, if you have Miriam with you as your commander, you make a copy of it, right? And its ability is you tap creatures, so you tap 1 creature per opponent, and well, each opponent will tap 1. But if you can make copies of it, you can tap most of their creatures pretty quick. Amethyst, Dragonfly, and Haste. We went over this one, I think. It's a Merciless Soul. Enters the battlefield. It begins a counter for itself, but it doesn't have a counter just yet. But whenever you lose a creature, you get a counter on it, and the counter works for its ward on as well as for every counter you have. It gets a +1/+0 for each experience counter to creatures you control. So good little way if you're going to be getting rid of a lot of creatures. And then Rail, I guess, I don't know. When it enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. Whenever you attack target attacking creature gains death touch until end of turn. If you gone and completed the dungeon, that creature also gets a +5/+0 and gains first strike. You pick one creature, right? It can't be that good. We get a background, Windshaper, Planetary for a rare, a foil Gut Boy, Gut True Soul Zealot. I'm sorry, guys. This just hasn't been one of the best pulls, really. Fang Dragon, flying, 6/3, 7 cost. Oh man. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. At least we got a Cliff Gates. And I just realized something. I just put those guys in the wrong pile. There we go. Fixed it. It's crazy how many uncommons you have that aren't legendary creatures, and how many legendary creatures you have that are uncommons. Beckoning Will-O-Wisp, flying. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose an opponent. Creatures attacking the last chosen player gets a +1/+0. It's alright. I like this one. Cone of Cold. Granted, it is a 4 cost, but if you're playing a card that lets you cast these spells for cheap, tap all creatures your opponent control. That's 1 through 9. 10 through 19, tap all creatures your opponents control. Those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap step. The best one out of this is the 20. Tap all creatures your opponents control. Those creatures do not untap during their controller's next untap step until your next turn. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tap as well. So great way to just like keep people from being able to do anything. Glunch, friend of mine, likes the creature. It's a good commander if you're doing like a group hug deck. At the beginning of your end step, choose a player. They put a 2/1/1 counters on a creature. Ooh, excuse me. They control. Choose a second player to draw a card. Then choose a third player to create 2 treasure tokens. Want to wander? Actually, interesting card. So pay 4, roll a d20. Each opponent exiles a card from the top of their library until they exile an instant sorcery card. Then shuffles the rest into their library. You may cast up to X instances and or sorcery spells from among cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. Actually, really good for a spellslinger deck. 1 through 9, X is 1, 2, 3, so on and so on. Really interesting. Really bad foil that we just got there. Very disappointed. Very sad. I'll move this up here. Make it easy. So, we got one land cycle, which is a luxury suite. It would be nice if we can get something that involves blue-red, but I don't think they have a blue-red one. Let's see. We got a marble diamond. My root. You know, I didn't even get a geode golem yet. That's kind of... I'm sad. Oh, there's the lapis orb again. We got Swiftfoot boots. Legendary creature. Invoker Adept. You may activate abilities of other creatures you control as though those creatures had haste. When you activate an ability this turn by spending 4 or more mana to activate it, copy that ability. You may choose a new target for the copy. It's good if you have other cards. Alright, we got Elementor Simulacrum. For our mythic, for each opponent, you create a token that's a copy of up to one target creature that player controls. Pretty interesting. Pretty good, pretty good. We got a demon. I didn't even get a demon in any of the other boxes I've opened. I've opened maybe like 8 boxes of the Baldur's Gate, I think. Maybe a little bit more. I got a huge collection now of some of these cards. I think I ended up with roughly around 5 to 7 of each of the dragons. Another gate. Rare is our owl bear cub. It's alright. I'm not really gonna go into it as much because it's just not the best. Like I said, some of these cards are okay, and some of these cards aren't. So like, if a player, owl bear cub attacks a player who controls, excuse me, controls 8 or more lands, then look at the top 8 or more lands. Look at the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. It's all right. You just have to hope it doesn't get countered. It's 3 cost for it. Another gate. We had a charcoal diamond out of that, by the way. Here it is. This is what I was talking about. A juvenile mist dragon. So when it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, tap up to 1 target creature that player controls. Each of those creatures don't untap. Doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Thunder Wave deals 3 damage to each creature. You may choose a creature that deals the 3 damage to creatures chosen. What? Okay, it's a lot of reading that I don't like. It's very interesting. Max Astral Hunter, flying. Whenever it or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a treasure token. Legendary Elf, Druid. We've already went over this one. Look at that ancient copper dragon. Oh man, are we gonna get all the dragons in this set? Jeez, $60. You know, now that I think about it, out of all these cards, I actually paid for the box already. That's crazy. That is really crazy. We did pretty good on the pulls on this one. No, nice. So we got both the dragons that we need for our commander. So, well, we don't really need them. They just go into it, obviously, now. Another gate, Sky Diamond. Oh, so there we go. Just crazy. Crazy pulls, boys. This one's actually an interesting one. So you may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast dragon spells from the top of your library. Really good. 2 costs and you can do that. Now, if you pair it up with Jahir and you make a bunch of tokens, pretty much they really come out to be treasure tokens at that point. And they tap for forest, and if you get a chromatic lantern, then bam, you got yourself a nice little engine rolling. Gloomstalker, we went over you. Don't care for you. Tomb of Horrors Adventurer. When this card enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. When you cast your second spell each turn, copy it. If you've completed a dungeon, copy that spell twice instead. You may choose new targets for the copies. Pretty good if you can continue with the dungeon, like I said. Mold Folk. It's all about the fungus, baby. Fungus among us. You know, that's the thing that one of my teachers said a lot. Fungus is among us. Wow. This guy's good. You may cast dragon spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. Really good. So that'll go into the deck. Here's another one that's really nice. So if you're running a green deck, Jahir's Respite. Search your library for up to X basic lands where X is the number of creatures attacking you. Put those cards onto the battlefield tapped and shuffle. And then you also prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to you this turn. It's a 5 cost. Very expensive, but you get put out all these lands and you take no damage. It's really good. People should really look into it. And then Cultist Time At, we've already went over that one. And then we got a Squirrel token. I guess there's a card in here that does squirrels. I didn't know that. Really didn't. Alright. Dang, I messed up again. You know, I'm really bad at messing these things up. Really bad at that. Alright, here we go. Heap Gate, Sea Gate, Fire Diamond. Blur again. It's a blur. Oh, there we go. Geode Golem. Been looking for you, buddy. Cut a deal. Can't use them. We went over you already. Bane, Lord of Darkness. As long as your life total is less than half or equal to the starting life total, Bane, Lord of Darkness has indestructible. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, target opponent may have you draw a card. If they don't, you may put a creature card with equal or lesser toughness from your hand onto the battlefield. It's okay. I wouldn't say it's the best. Valhalla and a Fairy Dragon. We won't need those. Since we're not really running the ancient, what is it, Gold Dragon? Whew. Let's go. Alright. Now I see how I messed up. I can put these guys down here too. Dang. I'm just out of it today. Sorry, guys. This one is what I was talking about. So you can untap it, pay 1 to untap your commander, and just repeat a process as long as you have the mana and you do that consistently. Skanos Dragonheart. Enters the battlefield, or not enters, whenever it attacks, it gets a +X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among other dragons you control and dragon cards in your graveyard. So you just continue to stomp face on some people. Great commander to just, be able to do that. Let's go. Let's hoping for one of these. Kindred Discovery. Enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Whenever a creature you control of the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. Really good. So we definitely found our pieces for our commander deck. I'll build a deck, we'll go over it and let you guys see exactly what we've decided or what we've chosen to add into it. We kind of know what the theme is going to end up being. It's a dragon deck theme, sadly. Not really much of an option other than do that route or just not even try to build a deck, but we're going to. That's the whole point of the series, and you guys spent so much time watching this video. I'd hate for y'all to miss out on something like that. So, finishing it off, we got this, a treasure token. I appreciate y'all watching this little video of mine. Like I said, always 2x speed this stuff. Sometimes the things that you pull out of this aren't the best, and sometimes the things you do pull out of it is really nice. To kind of give you a recap, we're most likely going to be picking Lausanne Dragon's Legacy as our commander. It's a 5 mana cost, very expensive, but whenever you cast an adventure spell or dragon spell, it deals damage equal to the spell's mana value to any target that isn't a commander, so be beneficial to pretty much wipe out some of our opponents. We did end up pulling a Ancient Copper Dragon, a Elementor's Simulacrum, an Ancient Gold Dragon, and an Ancient Silver Dragon at the same time. So these 3 cards alone pretty much paid for the box. I think this is probably a few dollars. I don't remember exactly what the real cost of it, but these 3 cards alone did pay for the box, so it's a benefit. And then we did get a luxury suite. Won't be able to use it in this deck build that we're going to be doing. It's a black and red. Makes no sense to have it into my hand or put it into the deck. It's just extra steps for very little that we get out of it. We did get a lot of gates, so if anyone's wanting to build a Mazes In deck as a win con, let me know. And then we definitely got the most busted land there ever was and ever made. Evolve in Wilds. So yeah, it's definitely going into the deck. We're gonna stomp face with it. Appreciate you all watching this video. You guys have a good day. Enjoy, and looking forward to seeing the commander build, and we'll go over that together. You guys have a good day.